Welcome to NC Political Tea, the show where North Carolina's political scene gets served piping hot, grassroots style. We're here to shake up the status quo with unapologetically conservative takes and a whole lot of Southern charm. From the halls of Congress to under the dome, we're exposing the deals, the drama, and the dirt that the mainstream media won't touch. Who's fighting for your freedom? Who's selling out to the woke mob? And who's about to get roasted? No fluff, no filters, and absolutely no time for spineless politics. Just bold Republican commentary, sharp analysis, and enough sass to make the left squirm. So grab your sweet tea or something stronger, and let's dive into the hottest headlines and juiciest scandals rocking the Tar Heel State. This is NC Political Tea, where the truth always gets served.
At the end of the day, we're going to get this bill done. Every single Republican knows that this is the president's agenda. This is a good bill. This has so many wins that we can all go back to our districts and tell our constituents about that we got no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, that we provided funding for the border, that we lowered taxes. These are huge wins for the American people. We're going to get it done.
On this vote, the yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
Done.
Now, I ask you, is Virginia Fox the cutest?
I don't know who's doing her social media lately, but they are killing it.
Killing the game. By the way, everyone, happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. I'm Rosie the Riveter today.
You're Rosie the Riveter, but you promised me red, white, and blue. You promised everyone red, white, and blue.
I did, and I did it. I just did it a little subtly.
Here's the white in the headband.
Yeah, right there.
All right, I'm gonna have to give you a B- because
well, I have white pearls.
You're usually on point, and that's why. But you know, if Sean were here, he would
I know.
rip you to shreds.
I know. I could have put on my white mega hat, but I didn't want to do it.
Well, we don't want to mess up the hair. Look, bottom line, we're women. We don't want to mess up the hair. Let's be real.
That's exactly right. We're not messing with
real. Okay, look, the big, beautiful bill, there's been a lot of talk about it. A lot of people nitpick. There's a difference between practical conservatism and, ideological conservatism. When we have a very thin majority, we have got to get stuff done. There are things in this bill like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. That's not conservative, right? That's more populist. Conservatives don't like cutouts for taxes. We like across the board reduction policies. But I think we have a lot to celebrate.
Oh, there's a lot of wins in this bill. And I think the thing that's most important is this is the momentum to drive more change. Wins beget wins. Like that's the way it is even when you play a game. And you know that you've got competitive kids. The more they win one, they get good motivation, they see the stride and they keep going. And I think that's where we're headed.
Well, there are a lot of broad things that did pass. First of all, and foremostly, making the Trump tax cuts permanent. But look, the bill has delivered a massive win for North Carolina working class. The no tax on tips, like we said, no tax on overtime through 2028 is big. So if you're a server in Raleigh or up in Asheville, whatever, pulling extra hours in factories, that means about $1,700 more in your pocket each year, tax-free. Now, this puts real cash in the hands of bartenders, waitresses. My massage therapist, by the way, was talking about it last night. Blue-collar workers, boosting take-home pay just across the board for all families in the Tar Heel State, or even if you're single. So no more IRS, grabbing your hard-earned tips, your hard-earned overtime. It's freedom for North Carolina's working class.
Well, I think The other part of it is it's going to motivate spending. That's one of the things that this is really all about. How can we give more money to people to spend it in the economy to drive the economy indicators? So giving people more money back in their pocket is really putting more money back in the economy.
Right. And I think it really undercuts Democrats' longtime argument that tax cuts are only for the wealthy, right? And like the trickle down economics. I think it really takes the air out of those sails. Won't stop them from saying it.
They'll say it every day, all day. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, didn't let's see, Dollar Store, Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, didn't he say something like, I don't know, 7 hours worth of crap?
Yeah, he said so much stuff, but we do have a couple of clips from him later on in the show. Yeah. It won't stop him from saying it, but look, also it includes a tax deduction for up to $10,000 a year on interest for new auto loans from 2025 through 2028, but only for American-made vehicles. This is what you're talking about. It's America First booming to our business. Now, this could save you around $500 a year. It's perfect if you're buying like a SUV, a Ford truck, whatever. It not only helps put money in your pocket, but it boosts car sales.
Yeah, I think one part of the economy piece in that instance is it lowers the permanent tax rate for small businesses and aims to boost entrepreneurship, which we lost a lot of, and job creation, which we lost a lot of during COVID.
Yeah, I mean it's really big because a lot of these things are some of this bill, and we'll get into this, is curative. In other words, it's really seeking to stop the poison that was injected into our programs like Medicaid over the last two Democratic administrations. So I mean, some of it's curative, and we'll get into that. But for families, I mean, I really like this. So the bill delivers, big wins for families. So it's got a permanent $2,200 tax credit starting in 2025. It's not the $2,500 that we wanted, but it's still real relief for working families. There's a ton of them here in North Carolina. It's pro-family, pro-tax cut policy in action. It keeps more money in your pocket. Again, that's the theme, and I'm saying it because there's a lot of you out there that are running for re-election. You know who you are. You've been calling me for the last 2 days saying, hey, we've been in the General Assembly so concerned about overriding our own vetoes. What's in this bill? It's for you. So what do you think about this? A Trump savings account for kids, because we have not heard a lot about this. Kids born between 2024 and 2028 get essentially $1,000 starting kit, right? That families can add on to it, $5,000 a year. So by the time that kids get to be 18, they can use it for college. If you don't go to college and you're 30 years old, you can use it for a home or whatever. It's all yours, but it's your little passport savings account. And this is Trump's vision of empowering parents and securing futures for kids.
Well, I love that idea, but I'm not, Sloan, I'm absolutely sure it made it in the final cut. I looked for it in the very last rendition, and it was in several iterations, but I didn't see it in the last cut. So I even if it's not there, they need to make it happen.
Okay, I did see it in the final cut on mine as far as the bill notes. So
it's there's another thing. We have all these pressers out here putting things out, and even I couldn't read through all of it. But so I ran it through AI, which one says one thing, one says another. So even if it's not there, we want it there.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, when a long time ago, when you had a kid born or whatever, the grandparent would start off, the kid off with $100 passport savings account, right?
Or a savings bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just keep adding to it.
Yeah, and you just keep, adding to it and going on. And it's kind of cool that we don't really want federal government in our business. So this might be one of those things that maybe conservatives don't like across the board. But
the idea is good, though.
The idea is good. And I could justify it by saying, because we have to pay so much money in Medicaid, as we went over, and we will go over again.
And again.
Why the hell shouldn't we get it back for the most important people in our life? And it's our children.
That's right.
So I'm kind of liking that one. But in the education, I think it's a game changer for K through 12 because you're expanding those 529 education savings account, and it gives parents a lot of flexibility to save for schooling, whether it's private, charter, or homeschool, because it's kind of adding on to the school choice we have here. What do you think?
I love those. I also like that they extended eligibility to require 30 hours per academic year for Pell Grants. So they want you to get your degree, get it fast, and get out there and get working.
Okay. That makes sense. And even if you choose technical school, which is, by the way,
Same thing.
increasingly the way to go. I mean, these HVAC graduates, they're pulling down serious bank of like $260,000 a year, some of them at year 4.
Yeah.
That's as much as a consultant at McKinsey makes.
That's the fastest growing small business being purchased now, HVACs and plumbing.
Fascinating. So this is Luke Rosiak, is a colleague of ours, friend of ours, Daily Caller. And he's like, this is going to change how colleges pay for, and it really is going to force colleges to lower tuition. And the ones that aren't doing the job and getting the degrees that parents want, they're out. School choice. This is historic. Everyone in America can donate this amount of money to the scholarship group for charity. So if there is a charity for whatever it is, childhood survivors of cancer, there's a lot of scholarships for them. You can donate and write that off.
That is very cool.
And that, I mean, if you have a bent on giving back, which it's conservatives, by the way, let's be real. And study after study, who gives more to charity?
Oh, conservatives. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, Sloan, but not only do we give more to charity, but we actually have higher IQs than Democrats in the House of Representatives at the federal level. I checked that out today. I'm not kidding.
Wait a minute. So you're saying like the average rank, because you're comparing them to politicians in the House that are Democrats. That is an opt-in pool for morons.
I'm telling you, I ran it through AI twice, and they said Republicans in the House of Representatives have a higher IQ by at least 5 points.
Oh, okay. You meant in the chamber. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you meant Democrats.
No, well,
that was because
that
I
might be the population.
blew them away anytime.
That might be the total population. I mean, it's a good sample size.
Oof, okay. And then Corey DeAngelis, school choice guy, he's doing somersaults.
Love him.
This is going to be on Trump's desk, but it's going to make it a lot easier for parents to choose. Again, if you've got a school that is teaching your child about butt plugs at 3rd grade.
No.
And I hope, but every time I say this, I hope it jars people.
It does.
Because I'm going to keep saying it. Blowjobs and butt plugs. And I'm saying it not to be cute. If they're saying it to 3rd graders all over this state, then
they are.
Right. Then I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. And I want you to be offended. Don't be offended at me. Be offended at the teachers that are pushing this crap.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, we're not going to shield you guys from this if we can't shield our children from it. So anyway, this bill also does things like strengthening school choice through enhanced opportunity zones, driving investment to rural North Carolina. We've got a lot of poverty-stricken areas east and west of the state, to give better public schools, working class families. That means more control over your education dollars. So not only is it being done in North Carolina via the opportunity scholarships, now we've got like a federal booster on
overlay.
Yeah. So, ideally in a perfect world, we would say this is going to put competition where it belongs in the K through 12 schools.
I think if you marry what they're doing here with the policies that Linda McCann is doing.
Skittles, water.
Oh, good for you. Green Skittles. It looks kind of like green.
Looks like antifreeze. I'm sorry. It looks like antifreeze.
Does it? Wow.
Which anyway, is how do I know this? I watch a lot of Dateline.
I'm not surprised. Anyway, I think streamlining this bill with the policies that are going on in the Department of Education, as we saw this week, where they actually made University of Pennsylvania apologize to everybody. Those are working hand in hand. What we're doing is coming back and bringing common sense.
Right. So as we said, a lot of the stuff in here, it's curative. Let's see. Did we get tax savings for caregivers? Did we get this?
We have tax savings for caregivers. You actually can do that now. Also, that has already happened. And then, of course, that you can. Yeah, it's already done. It's out there for adult caregivers. I think you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's already there.
Okay. And I apologize. There's so much.
You can deduct those people off your taxes if you're actually taking care of them as well. And North Carolina, if you're in North Carolina, you can actually take a class to be a CNA and get paid to take care of your parents.
That's really good to know. There's so much today. I mean, my show prep today has been
nuts. No.
Yeah, because it's every veto. So we were looking at the North Carolina General Assembly. They've been very active, doing a lot, right? And of course, Congress is. But look, the chrono really of governance is getting things done. And I want all of you grassroots people to know, because you've been calling us, you've been texting us. I don't know how you guys have found my phone number, by the way, but I mean, I love you, but
I didn't give it out.
okay, somebody gave my phone number. I've been on 9 calls today that I picked up about, what's vetoed, what's the inside scoop. And I'm going to give you some inside scoop later. But anyway, okay, I digress. What are we talking about now? We must be talking about one of the most important things, I think. And it's not.
That this is the president's agenda. This is a good.
Okay, here's the part of this show where we have to look human. And to look human, we have to make deliberate mistakes. Otherwise, you would think we were perfect. And we're just not going to roll that way. We're not going to go out that way.
That's not how we roll.
That's not how we roll, man. Okay, so the border is very important. So the border patrol is going to be supercharged. As Hakeem Jeffries said, I'm like, don't threaten me with a good time. Anyway, the bill locks our borders down, keeps our community safe. It pumps $45 billion into ICE detention, $14 billion for deportations, and $50 billion for border fortifications. That's a lot of numbers. Plus 10,000 new border agents by 2029. This is great. This stops illegal immigration and fentanyl flooding in our state. Remember, we told you, 11 overdoses a day death in North Carolina.
Yeah, and I think one other piece about this that nobody's talking about, Sloan, is not only just the physical manpower that's going to be out there, we're actually going to put money in technology and infrastructure. So finally, we're going to have those things across the border, the wall, different border checkpoints, security, like military style security. And then we'll layer technology on top of that, which in the past we have never done.
Well, I mean, this is great. So it secures the interior. In fact, I think I read that we're spending more on border enforcement than a lot of countries do with our military, which is great because we've had an invasion. Look, we've had an invasion. We have lived through an invasion. So to roll that back, this is one of the curative parts of the bill where we hate to spend the money on it. It's a lot of money, but damn it.
Yeah, but let's think about this logically. If we spend this money now and we secure our borders, that should lower our crime, which should reduce the efforts our police officers have to have across the country. And it will take away a lot of the drugs and suicide, drug things that are going on. This is actually monumental for society perforating out.
Well, now's a good time to take us back in time and play the video. I think it was one of our most viral videos. And by the way, I shudder to do it because I'm wearing the same thing.
Oh, really?
You know how women feel about wearing the same thing?
No, listen, this is like game day. We won today. So you're superficial, you're superstitious outfit.
Yeah, you didn't wear the same thing. I wore the same thing, but damn it, it's the American flag. I don't get it.
You told me I would have worn the same outfit because we're superstitious like that.
I know. You don't usually communicate though, but
that's true.
Had I known that you were going to let me down and not wear the red, white, and blue?
I did. I just did it a little differently.
I'd be calling your ass. All right, let's put this up. This is from way back when, and another thing that's going to really make you guys mad. Here we go.
So this is, by the way, photo credit here to the New York Post put this out. North Carolina is number 8 in terms of our state tax dollars being drained because of illegals.
It's so funny. I have to say this out loud. You hear all the liberals complain about schools, but you never hear them say anything about this. Never.
$3.1 billion of our taxpayer funds going for illegals. And we have people, Americans, literally starving, losing their jobs, losing their homes, and we're paying this money for illegals?
It's very interesting if you look at that from a contextual perspective of elections. Think about it. Texas is a huge voter population. They're browning it as fast as they can. Florida is not being browned, but look down below there. Arizona, then us, then Georgia in a row. That's really scary. It tells you that they put an influx, on purpose.
Oh, absolutely. We're spending more, twice as much more as Michigan, which is crazy, and Colorado and Nevada.
Look, Tennessee's down there at the bottom, and that's pretty interesting to see them even hit the top 20.
So,
hello.
it ought to make you very mad because we're spending a lot of money. Again, we have to mix it up.
Hey, you know what? Here's the deal. We've told you that we it's a told you so moment.
Again,
And now we're going to do the right things to make it stop. We're going to stop the bleeding.
At the federal level, but we're also going to talk about what the Democrats in North Carolina, look, Democrats are not fit to lead. And every day we talk about this stuff, we prove it. So to no surprise, by the way, no Democrats voted for what we're about to tell you. I'm going to go on. This big, beautiful bill ramps up deportations. And it also, we'll talk about what it does for Medicaid, which is relevant. It also shuts down asylum and student visa loopholes. Ending the abuse is cold. So here in North Carolina, we're going to talk about this next, where Medicaid expansion is already stretching our dollar, stretching our resources like hell. The bill frees up millions for kicking illegals off. And that means more money for safety nets for Americans.
Yeah, starting in December of this year. So they're going to give them a little, no, I'm sorry, December 6. They're going to give them a little time because, they want to be able to help these.
Hold on. What are we talking about? Medicaid or the border?
Yeah, Medicaid. The Medicaid.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. So remember that because I didn't have that data. But what I'm thinking, and when I talked to Congressman Brad Knott, who has been a prosecutor in this district, he says this is going to give more funds that we need to local law enforcement in places like Johnson County and others. They're right on that I-95 corridor, and that is where they traffic drugs and human trafficking right there.
85.
They don't, 85 too, but 95 definitely up and down, all the way from Canada to Florida. So we don't have the money to do that. And so let's just think about, the amount of illegals is actually taken away from other immigrants who are living here and working peacefully. What happens is the illegal gang members will come into their community, threaten them, use them, etc. So, it's so dangerous for people who are actually living here.
They'll actually bring down property prices too. That's the other part people don't think about.
Housing.
Housing and what it does in a community that's not used to that type of crime, doesn't have the police force, doesn't have the educational force to handle all the influx of these people.
PJ, we love Brad. Is he coming on tonight or no?
He cannot make it tonight. He's got to stay there for the big signing and then he's going to head home.
Ah, okay. All right. And so now let's get to Medicaid because this is really, we talk about it a lot because it's expanded here. The bill strengthens Medicaid. It strengthens, y'all get with me. Strengthens, not cuts, strengthens Medicaid for low-income children, which is what it's supposed to do, and the working poor by making it sustainable. So it's reinstating the tough work requirements. Not that tough, 20 hours a week of work, job training, or community service for able-bodied adults without dependents. This is not punishing anyone, which the Democrats say. It's about encouraging self-reliance and cutting waste and saving taxpayer dollars by focusing benefits only on the people who need them. This is who the program is intended for: our children, our hardworking low-income families.
And elderly.
And nursing.
Cannot, that may be in specific positions.
Well, maybe, we're going to ensure that we're not going to, this entitlement is going to sunset when we run out of money, right? So we're going to ensure that Medicaid can stay for the most vulnerable. Critics are bitching. I'm going to play this in a minute. In fact, right here. Critics are really bitching about, oh my God, this bill is going to, kill people. Let
me tell you why that people in North Carolina are bitching and complaining, because they're going to have to get all that surplus money that we have, and they're going to have to put their money where their mouth is. They have been getting subsidies from the government to expand Medicaid, and now they're not going to get them, and we're either going to have to raise our taxes, or we're going to have to cut some things, or we're going to have to take some money of that surplus.
Well, they're lying about it. So this is, I love Beta, so we get along great. You love her, same mindset. She's dead wrong, and you're going to see this on the right and the left. And she's like, look, Republicans, you're going to blow your electoral victories because what you're doing is you're saying, hey, there's 35-year-old dudes out there playing video games. And the truth is there's a lot of hardworking rural men who use this program. She's right. But it actually protects the program for them, right? Because you brought this up. Let's say you got a guy out there who's trying to feed his family, et cetera, makes $25 an hour, which you think is a lot, but has no health care. for a family of 4. Well, they're going to need Medicaid, right? He's the only provider, wife can't work, whatever it is. And that's exactly who the program is for. But let's say his neighbor, okay, let's say both guys are 35. The neighbor, 35, doesn't work, period.
He's going to pick up his ass.
Smoking blunts, playing video games.
Using that phone that he paid $1,000 for.
Right.
Mama's family plan.
Getting treated for STDs every other week, going up to the doctor.
Oh
I'm sorry.
God.
Or whatever. Well, I'm just telling you, if you got a lot of time on your hands and you're single, I don't know.
You need to work. If you're single and you got that much time.
So this is a tale of 2 families, right? You've got Mike over here, 2 children.
Doing all the right things.
And you got, I was going to say Paul, but that's an apostle's name. That wouldn't be right. How about Britt, right? He's out there playing video games, doing his thing, going out to the club. Why should Britt have it and run out the resources and it might not? And I'm going to raise this to you. We have a severe healthcare provider shortage here in North Carolina. So why should people like Britt, right, be clogging up the lines when Mike and his family, whenever they need healthcare, need it?
Well, there's another piece of that. Here's Sloan and Margot who have private healthcare. We walk in the same hospital they do.
Yeah.
We're going to get billed the most because they know our insurance will pay for it.
Astronomical. I mean, it is almost price prohibitive.
Yeah. Well, it's worse though, because you start to realize when you're standing in that emergency room and they're ordering a test that you don't think you need, but you're not a doctor. But what are they ordering for those people over there sitting in the ER that don't have health care?
Well, to be clear, we want everybody that deserves critical care. That's the law in this country. That's the law, is that they're going to get care. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't put this up. Margot, Prayer loves your hair.
Well, thank you. I don't usually wear it up, but
I feel a little lonely, but at least I have this. And so what we're talking about is demonstrable inequality that you and I pay for. I'm going to repeat.
You're absolutely right about that.
Critical care, everybody's going to get critical care, right? And that is a human right.
The major thing is pregnant mothers and children are going to get what they need.
And that's critical. Children especially, they've got to have it. But look at, I'm going to show you Hakeem Jeffries and follow it up with Scott Jennings because I think he did a good job. Here we go. Gird your loins, everybody. You're going to listen to a hot bag of wind.
On health care in the United States of America.
That's not him.
That is a hot bag of wind, though, but actually, but that's not the same hot bag of wind. Okay.
People will die.
That,
Tens of thousands.
Look at this guy sleeping in the background.
Perhaps year after year after year. As a result
he's on his
of the
phone.
Republican assault on the health care of the American people. I'm sad. I never thought that I'd be on the House floor saying that this is a crime scene.
yes, you did. Yes, you did. Thank
And
you.
House Democrats want no part of it. So
I mean, okay, absolutely ridiculous. It's just, and you're going to hear a lot of this. That's why.
So there's obviously going to be a big debate about this. I mean, there are like almost 5 million able-bodied people on Medicaid who simply choose not to work. They spend 6 hours a day socializing and watching television. And if you can't get off grandma's couch and work, I don't want to pay for your welfare.
I don't know where you're getting those numbers. CBO says there are 5 million Americans who are sitting on their couch watching television.
Regardless, this kicked 17.
That you just cited.
This kicked 17 million people off.
And he's saying, CBO, in other words, the government provided me with these numbers. By the way, there's an update, big update. Are you ready? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Prayer.
I feel better. Thank you. So, I mean, and I want, guys, be careful, because when you hear the name Meta, people don't know if it's Medicaid or Medicare, and they're going to get you with that, right? The Democrats are going to, and I'm telling you, because it's up to all of us to message. We have to message. We have to set the record straight with our neighbors and people in our precincts. So
The saddest,
they're going to.
Those shouldn't be common names. It is sad that America has made Medicare and Medicaid common words.
Right, because people don't know the difference between Medicaid and Medicare, and no one wants to be off of Medicare. No one wants anyone off of Medicare because it's for grandma and granddad, and frankly, they've worked all their lives and they deserve it.
But where did we get to the point that is where the two major healthcare systems in the country? Where did we get to this point that people can't afford to go to the doctor, pay $100, get their medicine, and go home without having to have all this?
They can't afford it. But we know that under the Biden administration, what was given was something that was so delicious that even the North Carolina Republican Party leadership had to strong arm everyone to vote for it and to give it out. And now it's going to be taken away. And I hate to play another I told you so. We have about 3 or 4, I counted in the video vault of I told you so's of Medicaid expansion. It's getting ready to come back in, going to bite some people in the ass, but we will wait until that day.
Yeah. I mean, I think 22.2% uplift in users for expanded Medicaid, 312 satellite offices. Like, we only have 100 counties. Why we need all those offices? And then the fact that, you're really going to take, if they take the expansion away, then the copay for North Carolina comes from the surplus. Get over it. You're going to have to do it.
Yeah. This is 30, that girl. That's true. Rural hospitals closed. And you remember that they were saying that we were holding, this is in North Carolina, we were holding rural hospitals hostage because of the delay in passing Medicaid expansion here, which, by the way, there is no work requirement. And here's a caveat. Federal law or federal policy or law under Biden stipulated there could be no work requirement, right? Trump put it in, Biden took it out. That's why I was pissed off, because why wouldn't the Republicans have waited to expand Medicaid if they really wanted to do it under Trump? Because at least they could have justified it by saying, well, we did it, but there's a work requirement. I mean,
I think there's going to be some recession bills that come out of this that are a refining of these things that didn't get in, or that they know they need to tweak.
A reconciliation bill, budget bill, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think you're right about that. But again, you're going to hear whining, and it's up to all of us. It's up to all of us to correct the record. And I want to tell you, this is kind of, the Medicaid thing is kind of like a taxpayer dream come true, because it's slamming the brakes on illegal immigrations, draining our Medicaid system by enforcing strict eligibility checks, ensuring that our hard-earned tax dollars are not being used for illegals. Now, in North Carolina, again, we've expanded Medicaid. We've talked about that. It's stretching our resources. Let's just take the resources. Let's take the money too, though. That means that we're going to have more money, pay less money, et cetera. But importantly, it goes to people that need it. So the Republican plan, this is the Republican plan. Every Democrat voted against it. It stops the abuse of our welfare system, protects North Carolina resources, upholds fairness. It's conservative common sense. Your taxes should not be used for illegals.
Yeah, well, there won't be many left if this border bill goes through the right way and everybody executes accordingly.
500,000 here at least. That was a conservative estimate from John Locke.
Yeah, but I think they said 1.4 million on Medicaid, and that would equal 28,000 per state. Now, we know it's not really broken down that way, and I think that's very conservative to say 1.4 million. But regardless, it doesn't look like there's that many on the state systems, but we don't know if that's true. That's the number we were given. I question that.
From CBO.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if Scott Jennings just used CBO, we said, that's okay, Scott, then we have to trust CBO.
Yeah. So. And I don't mind doing that. I did the math, though, and I don't think 28,000, that's a little bit bigger than my county.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, but to your point, let's take Medicaid out of it. Remember that pregnancy, catastrophic stuff, and child care, all is mandatory paid for. So if they're not in our country, we're not paying for that. And that adds up to billions in this county. Remember, in the state, $3.1 billion in state taxpayer funds, whether it's school, whether it's healthcare, whether it's food, go towards illegals here in North Carolina.
That probably includes crime as well, meaning housing them in the jails and stuff, and going through the system.
Could. But look, this bill also does something that it caps the Medicaid funding growth per capita every state, or block grants is what it really is. And it reins in runaway spending to save a whopping $700 billion over 10 years. That's good. So it's stopping rolling back the Biden catastrophe, rolling back some of Obama's overspending, ensuring that your tax dollars are not swallowed up by an out-of control program that's top down. That's always been the problem. It's been top down. So this is a conservative aspect of the bill. It's making things more localized.
It's going to require DSS or DDS, whatever they want to call themselves, to make some changes in North Carolina. You know, you can't have these mental health clinics. Hey, Winona, it's good to see you. You know, you can't have, we didn't have mental health covered. We didn't have vision and dental covered until expansion came in. They're going to have to make some hard choices.
Yeah. And by the way, newsflash to politicians that are watching, you have to prepare yourself to explain this well and to upset people. You have to. I mean, leaders have to do the hard things. So you're going to have to do some of these things. You're just going to have to do it. Everyone's worried about
that, Buttercup.
Yeah. I mean, look, you wanted the job, dude.
You know, one area that I don't see that we're really going to talk about, which I think is important, is the expansion or assistance in the military that was in that bill. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up specifically is because there's an allocation of $350 billion for Seymour Johnson in North Carolina.
Okay, so tell us about what that could do to local.
Wrong. It just says supports. Let me just say, they're gonna do national security enhancements in military capabilities and supporting bases. The total allocation is $350 billion across the military, and they called out specifically Seymour Johnson Air Force Base here in North Carolina that they're going to do some specific things at. My thought process, they didn't tell me this, but I'd say there's probably going to be a drone force there.
Okay.
But
I'm loving it.
That's a win for North Carolina.
There's a lot.
Whoever did that, I don't know where Seymour Johnson is, but I would say that's probably in Rouser's area, maybe.
Yeah, by the coast.
Yeah, one of those guys really helped their area out. Got a by name apportionment.
That's great. I mean, I love everything that's been going on our bases here in North Carolina, because I love knowing that we've got, you know, the Army here, Goldsboro. So it's Bill. It's John Bell.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good news. Whoever did it.
John Bell in the House. Okay, the federal side, it's Hudson.
No, it's not Hudson. It's going to be Murphy or Rouser. It's going to be Murphy or Rouser.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the one other area that really hasn't been talked about is energy. Energy. One of the major things that Brad Knott, Congressman Knott, told me where this bill was supposed to do is unleash energy and allow us to do things to create the energy grid and augment and update and secure the energy grid for America through hydro, through coal, which you already have the plans for, through nuclear. And what are we going to do with all that energy? We are going to build AI data centers.
Well, this is important because Knott and others sitting on the Homeland Security Committee have told me that dependency on foreign oil has really put us in a bind. So what a lot of you may not figure when you're talking about the Middle East stuff, what's going on and things like that, we're kind of over a barrel, pun intended. We don't want to have our gas price raise up to $5.50 if there's another incursion in Iran, for instance, right?
Well, and to that end, one thing that Lisa Murkowski, she was a good bargainer. I'll just give her that. One thing she got to get her to vote for this in the Senate is she got the approval to have 4 new oil leases drawn in Alaska. So that's going to bring more petroleum in. We're going to be doing, and I don't know if y'all know this, but we have the world's largest stash, I guess you'd say, of natural gas. So we want to export that, but you have to have it. You have to be getting it before you can export it. So we're going to move to make those things more easily attainable and more easily to export.
Great. Very good. Do we have enough votes to override? We're getting to that.
We haven't gotten to the whole North Carolina thing yet.
Girl.
That's a different kind of crazy.
Okay. So Democrats were mad. So here's Don Davis's comments. And you're going to tell us, I mean, he's in a district, by the way, where he won by the skin, right? of his chinny chin chin, and he could be in danger. He said, I support safeguarding the American people, blah, blah, blah. I don't like it because it's out of touch and it's only the wealthiest benefit. I think he's about to get slammed for that. My congresswoman, people are crazy as hell around here.
Unimaginable.
Yeah, she's
said
from
Connecticut.
Yeah, basically saying all the benefits for this were down to the wealthy. We just spent the first half hour of our program telling you the facts of the bill. I don't know how wealthy people benefit from anything we just said. Do you? I mean, I think everybody benefits from safety in school.
Well, they all got the same message to put out.
Valerie Fouché, I was just going to say, but look, Valerie goes all out, and she's representing Durham and Chapel Hill, so she cray.
Ultra wealthy.
She cray. And this is their little campaign thing. Trump sold out North Carolina because 650,000 people are about to lose their health care. Well,
wait and see.
Again, we have to tell people the truth of this. We're preserving it. And oh, by the way, what good does Medicaid do you if you cannot find a provider in your area?
That's a big issue in rural hospitals and in rural areas. That's one of the first questions they ask is, are you on Medicaid? Because they won't take you as a patient. There are very few areas that do that.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. And now we're going to move on to the ultra depressing governor that we have. He's a Democrat. So
lying shill.
Yeah. Which you said. Okay. So this is Governor Stein. Let me get him up there. Right. And you see him. He's like, I'm signing this bill. I'm signing that bill. I'm doing my job. Blah, blah, blah. I'm doing great. Look at me. I'm doing cool things. And you almost want to believe him. Yeah. You almost want to believe him. Right. You almost do. We don't.
His actions don't match his words.
His actions do not match his words at all. He says he wants to keep the state safe, etc. We're going to argue a different position on that. Okay. You put this up. The feckless governor. So you were kind. I thought that was a kind thing you said.
I don't know if it was kind. I was so mad I didn't know what to say other than I'm going to have to start tallying vetoes because Roy Cooper has the North Carolina record for vetoes, and I think Stein's going to get it really quick.
You don't cuss on your X feed. I cuss on mine.
I don't. I'd really try not to. I let
it fly.
It's one thing to do it in a space, but it's another thing when you put it in print. And for me, I try to make my posts in a way that anybody can forward it to their grandma.
Right. And I have a different audience and a different reach. I'll never get my reach where yours is because I
do put LFG, but sometimes grandma doesn't know what that means.
Good grandma wouldn't know that. I don't have any grandmas read my stuff.
Well, I try to
filthy potty mouth people.
We have different like audiences though. Mine, I really try to focus on how we can save North Carolina, the trivia of North Carolina, the political atmosphere of North Carolina, even the rural part of North Carolina. You have an audience that's very intellectual. It's cosmopolitan. It is cosmopolitan.
There is a study, and I believe that a couple studies that show maybe even the more intelligent you are, the more you cuss.
Well, you and I both know I cuss my head off on the phone.
I've never heard you cuss.
Okay.
But it does. It says the more, and it's something, I guess it makes sense. It's like the more comfortable you are just dropping F-bombs. And I tell my children when they hear me cuss, which is very rarely because I try not to do it, that I never cussed before I had children.
Oh, really? Well, that's not true of me. As a matter of fact, I'll put the rumors to rest. When I was a kid, and I think 8th or 7th grade at Jamestown Middle School in Jamestown, North Carolina. We wrote notes like every kid does, right? Well, yeah. I'm still friends with all my girlfriends from that time. And one of them kept all those notes, and I cussed like a sailor in 7th or 8th grade. I read myself and I was like, wow.
Really? You know what I did? I don't know if y'all did this in 7th or 8th grade. I don't smoke, never smoked, except I tried a cigarette for the first time
and
in 8th grade. A menthol. The vomiting was enough to keep. So I don't know why that came up, but it's just 7th or 8th grade. That's when you're trying to,
My sister chewed tobacco there that at the same time and swallowed it and got sick like you did.
You chewed tobacco?
Yeah, she thought that was cool because all the baseball players were doing it.
Ooh, yikes. Okay, well, that's enough of tonight's confessions. Otherwise, we're going to get to the part where I stole a school bus at 14. Anyway. Okay. So, remember Josh Stein? Here's what he eliminated. DEI in public education. Here's what the bill provides. I mean, it's very simple. No indoctrination, just education. This is our North Carolina bill. It bans forced teaching or affirmation of divisive concepts like if you're white, you are irredeemably evil. And a lot of these curriculums teaches that. Yes, they do. Don't argue with me, people. Real diversity, free speech, not forced speech. So, for instance, you don't have to recite these things that we talked about with Ron Coleman the other night, where kids are forced to say, love is love. And it's okay that men get pregnant.
But that brings up a good point. He vetoed that, but the Supreme Court just said, you don't have to. So maybe, that's kind of like he may have vetoed it, but we won anyway, in a way.
Right. Here's what the Democrats proposed. Okay. They wanted a bill that mandates you hire a certain amount of Black people, right? It requires DEI trainings for all teachers that puts anti-Christian, anti-male, anti-family, and pro-queer studies in every classroom. This bill that the Democrats put up, they want to create state DEI office that would basically be the brown shirts that would go around and police school districts' adherence to race and sex policy and put all the power in Raleigh instead of counties. Which Raleigh has nothing in common with probably 80 out of 100 counties here.
I agree with you. It doesn't.
So, but that's what they want. Now, I'm going to put up Brian Echevarria, friend of the show's, his wonderful speech on DEI. And it was great. And he did it at the passage of this bill. It makes so much sense.
Bill is asking.
Hang on. Guys, it's another look. I planned it. I planned that to happen. Okay.
You can do it.
Just to show we're doing it.
Do we end discriminatory practices in our government hiring or not? And while I do appreciate the history of Jim Crow and all these things came along, we will be a part of that history. Once again, the Republican Party will deliver our nation from the discriminatory work and policies that Democrats are responsible for, like slavery, the Jim Crow, and everything else. So yes, again, here we are, a part of history. Republicans saying no one should be discriminated against, and Democrats arguing pension is okay. I don't indict him.
Okay.
I just love him.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, and listen, he called me this week, and we had a big talk about Tom Tillis's announcement, because there's 487 days. I got a countdown. I got a clock.
Well, look, it's going to be very good for us, and we're going to talk about that at the end because I really want to go off on, as a precinct chair in Wake County, how I feel about it. I'm pumped. Okay, so here's what Brian was talking about. Here's the bill. The bill calls for immediate termination in DEI programs, and you gotta know. Let's say you're a Black guy, right? A single Black man, and you are, Christian. You're pretty conservative values, or whatever. Why are you going to have to endure trainings on pronouns? Why? Because it's all queer theory. It's very little of it is Black civil rights.
None of it is Black civil rights because it's not told in the context of what really happened.
Well, but even if we're taking it at its most liberal translation, right?
Right.
It's all morphed into all of this queer stuff, and people don't want this crap. And so why are you forcing this? Okay, so the bill does that. Existing DEI initiatives, which are exquisitely expensive, must immediately cease. UNC system cannot have DEI-related training or hiring preferences. Penalties for violation. Remember, this got me almost titillated. It was amazing. Penalties for violation. State employees who knowingly violate the law can be fired. It makes sense because if you're in accounting, right, at UNC and you're violating it, you know what you're doing. Civil
They're
lawsuits
doing anyway. Civil
Well-
lawsuits can be filed against agencies that violate the law, allowing taxpayers and employees to challenge illegal DEI practices, which we all deserve to do. But once again, the federal government has taken that one on and said you can. So
It's nice to have a state law too. It's nice to have a state law. The state law does not give somebody a private right of action to sue, and it doesn't put somebody in jail, which gets me really excited. I love
Gotcha.
it. So that's what this bill does. I love that. Here's what I love. Republicans in North Carolina, all of you. I'm going to put my arms around all of you right now. You have managed to come up with a complement of bills that follows the MAGA agenda. So you're following it at the state level. And what you're doing is so cool because you're adding stuff in the contours that strengthens the bill. So if you end up breaking the law, there's so many different remedies. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm
Agreed.
loving it. It's very America first. Okay. Here's another one. This one pisses me off. This one he vetoed as well. I mean, you'd have to be some sort of pervert to veto it. Yes, I said it. I said it, Josh Stein.
The bottom line is he does not really care about children, and he's not for parents having rights.
Well, read this. This bill, all it says is no state-funded gender transitions for minors. If you want to cut your son's penis off at 7 years old, first of all, I think it's illegal, but you can't do it here. Moreover, you cannot pay for the manipulative therapies that try to talk children into believing they're something they're not, which is satanic.
Yeah, I think that is one of those areas where we have to get better control of these licensing boards, and we have to do the right appointments to stop that stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think we're seeing that now. Parental control over school library content. Here we go again. If you want to teach children about blowjobs and butt plugs, you're going to have to get their permission. And by the way, you can do that at home. I don't agree with you doing it at home, but if we really,
Let me ask you a question about that one, Sloan, because I was thinking about that the other day. If you lived in a really conservative area, and let's just say you're just like, we'll just use my county because like we just opted out of playing anybody that had a trans.
You don't have one single Democrat there, do you?
No, we don't. Not in any office, elected office. But let me ask. Well, there are in the town councils, but not in any elected office at the county or anything.
Okay.
The question that begets is, if the school board says we're just going to defund the library, or we're just going to defund all the books in the library, can they do that?
Yeah, they can. And I'll tell you why. They absolutely can. And that actually, I'm just spitballing here, but there's probably a digital repository of conservative books. And there may be, and if there's not, and you guys are entrepreneurs listening, I'm about to drop some knowledge on you. You could do some sort of virtual curate something that's, pro-Western values, doesn't have the pornography, etc. And you could just say, okay, then if you're all going to go on with this churlishness, what we're going to do is just say, we're not going to have any library. You guys all have iPads anyway. We're required to have them. And so there's going to be a digital library, and those are the books you get. If nobody's done that yet, that's a pretty good idea.
Well, and that's the reason why I brought it up. I'm trying to find solutions where we can work around the law. And if the counties have the capabilities to do that, the school board should be able to do it if they want to, if they're like my school board, which is completely 100% Republican.
I mean, yes, that can be done. But not only do they offer these books, you guys, because I mean, a lot of you guys are thinking, okay, maybe they've got, out of, 5,000 books, they've got 100 that are pornography. They are pornography people. Listen, unfortunately, we've seen them. But they don't, but how would kids know? They feature these. I mean, okay, so here's a book, right? When you come in, they've got like this book. This is Team of Rivals. This is harmless. They got this book sitting like on the front table as you're coming in.
Yeah, wanting you to pick it up and check it out.
Right. And they have readings with it and all this stuff. So they're pushing these kids. The librarians are very perverted. Some.
Yeah. That's why I asked you, because I was really trying to get around the librarians that are nut jobs.
Well, they're self-opting in, I think. Age and consent verification for porn. And by the way, that also just passed in SCOTUS. SCOTUS said that, yeah, states can make laws like this that say you can restrict porn to a certain age. And so I think we already have that law. Do we have that law?
I don't know about the porn. I know we do have that they cannot, I think we do actually. I think they did that last year. Actually, you're right. I think they did.
So I don't know what this is. Hold on. Let's put this up again because it must be an adjunct to it.
Written.
Oh, here we go. It requires all adult websites to verify that and written consent of performers before publishing sexual images and mandates rapid removal within 72 hours.
That's tightening up the law they already have.
Okay. Well, I mean, so let me get this straight. Josh John is breaking his arm to pat himself on the back for signing something that says there's going to be no cell phones in school because I care about the kids. But when they get home, they're going to be able to look at porn or in their school library.
What is going on here?
Bullshit.
What's going on here?
Yeah, well, bullshit's going on.
That's right.
I don't know how else you could do it. Now, get this. Here's the bill that your North Carolina Democrats put up. Here's what they want. Repeal the Parents' Bill. That's what they call the bill. Dude, if you guys can't brand your stuff, I can't help you. It repeals the Parents' Bill of Rights, eliminating legal protections for parental involvement in education, allows schools to withhold information from parents
about their kids' gender identity, pronouns, and counseling. Medical service. That's counseling's medical services.
Absolutely. Your child belongs to you. Removes requirement for curriculum transparency, giving the state control over what children are taught without parental input. I'm going to say it again. Democrats are unfit to lead, period. I'm going to show you another bill. I mean, they're dangerous. Here's another bill they put up. This is your North Carolina Democrats. This is what they put up. Lifts North Carolina's ban on child sex changes procedures, including hormone surgeries and state funding restrictions. Gives children a fundamental right to walk in and request their own sex change without parents notifying or consent. This is your North Carolina Democrats. All North Carolina healthcare workers will be required to have 24/7 LGBTQ LMNOP QRS training, including systems of oppression. And I guarantee you that's going to be anti-Semitic across the board. And it defines gender as non-biological, meaning two-spirit, transgender, non-binary, and all kinds of other bullshit.
I'm a unicorn.
Okay. So, it's not enough that they all voted against. In what world do you think this isn't an 80-20, Margot? This is a 90-10. 90% of all voters do not think that a child should be able to go into a clinic and
their brain isn't fully formed to do that. It's just really sickening to see that they would force children into some kind of indoctrination that they truly are not mentally capable of deciding. Their brain's not even fully developed.
So, I mean, it's bad enough that they also want abortions. I mean, we already know they want abortions pretty much. I mean, this is the whole culture of death. So they want children sexualized by other people, right, other than parents at an early age. They want them
consistently, not just once. They want it on them all the time. It's got to be going.
They want it through the phone. They want it through the school. They want it through the whatever it is, and they want Planned Parenthood to be able to come in and make money off of. They can't make money off the abortions. They're going to make money off of and it's a lot of money. Hormones and the puberty blockers. So. It's dystopian.
Dangerous time.
It's dystopian. The minor consent law, I don't know where we are on this, but I wanted to put this up because anybody that wants to argue with us and say, oh, come on, Sloan, it's illegal for a doctor to give a child puberty blockers and hormones without their parental consent. You will see right here, you are incorrect because right now you could be 0 years of age and still a doctor can legally give you emotional or mental health services. That would include gender dysphoria. What is a treatment for gender dysphoria, Margot? Do you happen to know?
You have to stop it, don't you? Oh no! What to treat it? What they'll do is to prescribe counseling, hormone therapy, genital mutilation, all that stuff. And listen, I don't think until today that there was a law that said they couldn't take your kid away from you. But Josh Stein did sign a law that says that the child enforcement people cannot come after you for what you do or don't do.
Okay, well, let's give credit where it's due.
That's why I brought it up. I thought it was at least worth mentioning.
Yeah, no, that is important.
And he did sign one more bill. I mean, it's not a big bill, but he did, and that has nothing to do with this, but he did sign another bill that gives people that do HVAC or they are contractors or they're cosmetologists or barbers or real estate agents, they actually can transfer their license across to North Carolina without having to take more classes or courses, because we have higher mandates than Georgia, Virginia, and South Carolina.
Well, I'm sure people in the industry will not appreciate that, but we'll see. But let's also put energy on what we put on it on Tuesday. Josh Stein signed or vetoed 2 bills that would protect children and the elderly. One of them would protect children and the elderly because the bill made sure that illegals cannot hide in churches, in schools, and in hospitals. This would also require every county to cooperate with ICE. We had Sheriff Page on a couple of weeks ago, and he told us what we already knew. And we've been saying that the easiest and most humane, and my gosh, the safest way to get an illegal out is when they're arrested. You want to have ICE come there rather than re-releasing them.
Yeah.
And having them in their community. And then ICE has to go out there, risk getting shot, other people getting shot, right?
Yeah. Endangering families.
Yes. And so in summary, Democrats are exquisitely dangerous. And for all of you and all of you here, every one of you here are going to have to help us campaign for the midterms, for your municipals, for the sheriff races. You're going to have to talk about that. I mean, look, you put this up today.
Yeah. I love that. Whoever's running that account, kudos to you, Wake GOP. You're doing a great job. I mean, the bottom line is we are on the verge of flipping, and what's going to have to happen now is, and I'll be honest with you, Sloan, this is a side project of mine. I'm literally going through the voter rolls and seeing how many Republicans in the presidential year did not vote per county, to give us a look at, are they, I want to make sure, like, I'll give you my example. Alamance County had 36,000 people that didn't vote. Now I want to know why they didn't vote and I want to go get them. So we're going to try to get the information.
You can call them gotaways.
Well, what's good is we can actually say, hey, we need someone in Alamance County and we're going to help you, but this is what we need you to do. So we're going to start coordinating and getting people on the ground to get those folks that didn't vote in the presidential election out there voting.
So that's kind of interesting. And we would need volunteers in every county to do that across every county. And guys, we have within 24 hours of this show, 6,000 to 9,000 people who view this show, which we're very proud of. And you guys are sending it around to people, etc. So I think in the coming day or weeks, what we need to do is have like a number to call or an email or something that we can get involved in this project, because we need to do what you just said in every county.
Yeah, well, I think what we're going to do is partner with other organizations that are locally based on the ground. So, for instance, we have a great men's club in Iredell County.
Yeah.
If we can get them to help partner with people who want to get involved, that's just going to augment the force out there. So we want to use the resources that are already there and who are embedded and know the lay of the land to help us get what we need.
We have volunteers, to your point, in those groups and others who are twiddling their thumbs, and they're getting, first of all, they're excited. They're excited because Tom Tillis being off the ticket. So let me tell you what that looks like for me. So when you're sitting,
it looks exciting for me.
I mean, I'm loving it. But I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go into my brain and go into some conversations. So when you're sitting there in an executive meeting, and you're there with your precinct chairs, all of them, and you're saying, gosh, I know my precinct pretty well. There's, 20,000 people in it, whatever. And the notion of coming out during a midterm for the base with that son of a bitch up at the top is not good. And that's exactly what I said a couple weeks ago. And because midterms are difficult anyway, the party in charge typically will lose footing, right? The base won't come out as much. But we have a very serious race here. And it is for Supreme Court. So if Thom Tillis was on there, it would jeopardize the Supreme Court. Not only that, it would jeopardize our majorities in the House and the Senate and the sheriff, right? So we were trying to look at creative ways to get people out. And now I think whoever survives the primary, not whoever Trump chooses or whoever the GOP chooses, whoever survives the primary is going to energize people so much. We got a really good shot here.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm pretty excited the fact that Laura Trump is very much hinting that she's going to run. And I think Trump on the ticket is going to get more people out, especially, let's say, father-in-law is producing lower price on eggs, lower price on gas, more, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. The momentum will roll. And also, North Carolina is going to be nothing but the favored daughter because we got the daughter-in-law here.
Well,
so I'm really excited.
Maybe a couple of things.
I know.
Here
you go.
I know. Look, I'm a contrarian. I'm just going to say a couple of things. First of all, Trump as a legislator, in other words, people might be very sick of him at the time, or, by the time, I'm not saying they will, but, and having her tied directly to Trump, number one. Number two, the billions potentially Democrats are going to pull into North Carolina. I mean, we are going to be ground zero for spending. I mean, it's going to be.
But Sloan, Trump has a war chest of $104 billion. He will pour that money in North Carolina to win. $1 billion is a pimple on a gnat to him if he wants this state. And I believe he does.
I mean, it's definitely going to paint a bullseye. But look, I'm not afraid of pressure. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that number one, let's say, God forbid, his popularity starts to wane and it's tied to her. I don't know. Eric Trump's thinking about running. I didn't hear about that. When did that come about?
I don't know, but she pretty much all but announced on her Facebook last night.
I might know someone she follows. Okay. So will you hit us up? By the way, we use our Twitter handles. I still don't know who's giving out my phone number. Whoever it is, and you're listening, you better stop because I'm about to change my phone number. But anyway, these are our Twitter handles. DM us. So anything we're talking about or whatever, and we get your questions a lot, say, hey, how do I get in? How do I, we don't know who's going to run, but I want a primary. I do too. I want fair one. Names in there, duking it out on ideas. I don't know about Laura Trump's ideas.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I don't know.
Who do you think is going to come out and run against her besides Andy Nielsen? Who's going to, if you were smart and you were a Republican and you didn't want to blow $1 billion and work your ass off, would you run against Laura Trump if she was going to run on the ticket? I'm just saying.
I want to win.
I want to win too. I want to win big, but I also.
Yeah. I mean, you're a realist, but I like to keep it real too. So
I agree with you though. I want people to feel like they have a choice, but I have a feeling the Republican Party is going to back her to the wall.
Well, I mean, I'm here for it. I'm hearing Pat Harrigan. He's great. I mean, look, when you put it, I do too. So when you put him and Jeff Jackson, first of all, if it's him in a face-off with Jeff Jackson, same beautiful family, military experience, very similar. Both
that's
him
taller.
And Jeff taller. Okay, well, yeah, that's true.
Studies say tall men win.
I got a 6'5" son. Did you see
know.
Next to
He's a winner.
Playing with Jerry Stackhouse, and then what's the? I mean, I'm a problem. I can't even stop talking about it. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Tall. Fine. But, they're similarly situated. But check this out. I think if Pat Harrigan runs and it's against Roy Cooper, Pat Harrigan's much younger. But
here's the other thing. Pat Harrigan fights for freedom. Roy Cooper locks you down.
Margo, are you going to run? By the way, how many times a day do you get asked to run?
I get asked to run all the time. Listen, I run my mouth. That's what I do. Yeah.
I
tell you that I will announce for a race, but it won't be for anything at the state level right now.
But we have too much fun doing this. I'm not, that's why I tell people I'm not interested in locking my mouth down.
Yeah. I'm not. There's a possibility there'll be a run in the future, but it won't be at the state level.
You heard it first here.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
I'm excited.
We have another win to get before that happens.
We have another win to get. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's somebody named Michelle Nix that I'm going to completely defeat. I read some stuff today. Michelle Nix, by the way, was a former high officer in the NCGOP. And I read some stuff today that made me absolutely sick. And I'm ready to get involved. So Michelle Nix, if you're watching or any of your other stalkers are watching, you can send that message to her from me. Anyway.
I think we're closing out on a good note.
I do. So anyway, happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. We won. We got the big, beautiful bill done, and AOC cried. It was beautiful.
Good. I'm looking forward to see more people crying, to be honest with you. Out of joy. Fine. The big, beautiful bill signing is tomorrow. So
5 p.m. at the Rotunda.
Everything that Trump does, is beautifully produced, ready for TV. I'm sure it's going to be great. You and I both are going out of town. We're not going to tell you where we're going. We're going to have a fabulous time, but we'll see you back on Tuesday. We're going to have a special guest, and I'll announce it on Monday.
All right. Well, listen, have a good weekend. Enjoy that family, that tall man.
I know. Be safe, guys. Bye.
That's a wrap on today's NC Political Tea. We hope you're leaving sharper, spicier, and ready to take on the political craziness in the Tar Heel State. If you loved what you heard, or even if it made you mad, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this show with your friends, family, and that one coworker who just needs the truth. Follow us on social media to stay in the loop and get your daily dose of conservative fire. And remember, here in North Carolina, the grassroots grows stronger when we stand together. Until next time, keep the faith, keep up the fight, and don't let the left water down your tea. This is NC Political Tea, where we spill it like it is.